Chapter 2 The Wampy Chew. Outside in the playground, a few boys were already kicking a football about. Bill Simpson was just about to charge in and join them when he remembered what he was wearing. He'd look a bit daft if he took a tumble, he decided. Maybe just for once he'd try to think of something else to do during playtime. Each boy who ran out of the school joined the football game on one side or the other. What did the girls do? He looked around. Some perched on the nursery wall, chatting to one another. Others stood in the cloakroom porch, sharing secrets and giggling. There were a few more huddled in each corner of the playground. Each time the football came their way, one of them would give it a hefty boot back into the game. There were two girls trying to mark out a hopscotch frame, but every time the footballers ran over the lines they were drawing, they scuffed the chalk so badly you couldn't see the squares any longer. But it was rather chilly just standing about. The dress might be very pretty, but it was thin, and Bill's legs were bare. He decided to join the girls on the porch. At least they were out of the wind. As he came up to them, Lila was saying, "Martin bets no one dares kick a football straight through the cloakroom window." The girls all looked at the cloakroom window. So did Bill. As usual, the caretaker had pushed the lower half of the window as far as it would go. It made quite a large square hole. "Anyone could kick a football through there," scoffed Kirsty. "I could," said Astrid. "Easy," agreed Lila. "What do you get if you do it?" Bill asked them. "A Wampy Chew?" "A Wampy Chew?" Bill Simpson was mystified. "Yes," Lila told him, "a Wampy Chew." Bill glanced around at the group of girls. Nobody else looked at the least bit baffled. Presumably they all knew about Wampy Chews, whatever they were. "I didn't know you could get a Wampy Chew round here," said Flora. "So they were rare, were they? Like giant pandas?" "I'd love a Wampy Chew," said Sarah, "but I'm not allowed because I'm allergic." Definitely an animal then, a furry one. Bill's next-door neighbour was allergic to furry animals too. "What colour is it?" said Astrid. "Is it a pink one?" If it was still pink, thought Bill, it was probably a baby and hadn't grown a lot of fur. "No," Linda told him. "I know exactly what colour it is because it's Martin's very last one, and it's a browny yellow." Perhaps Martin hadn't been feeding it properly, thought Bill. Perhaps that was the reason its nice pink skin and fur had gone all browny yellow. Obviously, it needed to be rescued, and fast. He'd better take the bet. "I'll do it," he announced. "I'll kick the football through the cloakroom window and get the Wampy Chew." Talila gave him a bit of a look. "You'd better be careful in your dress," she warned. "That football is filthy." "I'll manage," said Bill Simpson. "I know what I'm doing." The news, he noticed, spread like wildfire all along the line of girls perched on the nursery wall and into little huddles in the corners of the playground. All the girls turned to watch someone have a go at kicking a football straight through the cloakroom window. "What's the bet?" they asked one another. "A Wampy Chew." Right then, thought Bill. No reason to hang about. It was simple enough shot. All he needed was a football. He walked towards the footballers in order to borrow theirs for a moment. Just as he did so, the game happened to swing his way, and several boys charged past, knocking Bill flat on his back on the tarmac. "Get out of the way! We're playing here!" Bill picked himself up. He was astonished. Usually, if anyone walked into a football game, the players just thought they'd decide to join in. "Come in our side," they'd yell. "Be our goalie, take over." This time, it was as if they weren't so much playing football around him as through him. "Get off the pitch! Stop getting in our way! Go round!" It was the Frock again. He knew it. "I want the ball," yelled Bill to all the other players. "I just want to borrow it for a minute, for a bet." Games always stopped for bets. It was a rule. But they all acted as if they hadn't even heard him. "Out of our way! You're spoiling the game!" The ball happened to bounce Bill's way again, so he heaped up and caught it in his hands. "I need it," he explained, "just for a moment." The footballers gathered in a circle round him. They didn't look at all pleased at this interruption of the game. In fact, they looked rather menacing, all standing there with narrowed eyes, scowling. If this was the sort of reception the girls had come to expect, no wonder they didn't stray very far from the railings. No wonder they didn't ask to play. "Give the ball back," Rowan was really glowering now. "Yes," Martin agreed. "Why can't you stay in your bit of the playground?" Mystified, Bill asked Martin, "What bit?" "The girls' bit, of course." Bill looked around. Girls were still perched on the nursery wall. Girls were still huddled in the porch. Girls still stood in tight little groups in each corner. No girls were more than a few feet into the playground itself. Even the pair who'd been trying to mark out the hopscotch game had given up and gone away. "Where's that then?" asked Bill. "Where's the girls' bit? Where are the girls supposed to play?" "I don't know," Martin answered irritably. "Anywhere. Just somewhere we're not already playing football." "But you're playing football all over every single bit of the playground." Martin glanced up at the clock on the church tower next to the door to the school. There were only 2 minutes left before the bell rang, and his team was down by one tiny goal. He spread his hands in desperation. "Please give the ball back," he pleaded. "What's it worth?" For the life of him, Bill Simpson couldn't understand why, if Martin wanted the ball back so badly, he couldn't just step forward and try to prise it away from his chest. Then he realised that Martin simply didn't dare. The two of them might end up in a bit of a shoving match, and then a real fight, and no one fights someone in a pretty pink frock with fiddly shell buttons. So he had said cunningly, "I'll tell you what it's worth. It's worth your very last 1p chew." To his astonishment, Martin looked delighted. "Done," he said at once, and began digging deep in his trouser pocket. He handed a tiny, wrapped rectangle over to Bill. "There you are," he said. "Here it is. Now give me the football and get off the pitch." Bill Simpson looked down. "What's this?" he asked. "It's what you wanted," Martin said. "My very last 1p chew." In silence, Bill Simpson handed over the football. Where he'd been clutching it tightly against his chest, there was now an enormous brown smudge. In silence, Bill Simpson turned and walked away. If all the girls had not been standing round the edge of the playground watching him, he would have cried.